Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into tonight's terrifying story, smash that subscribe button and become part of our fearless horror family. Because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. We're dying to know. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below and who knows? Your hometown could inspire our next nightmare. So subscribe now and let the haunting begin. It was the summer of my junior year when Kyle, my best friend, vanished. One moment, he was the loud, cocky guy everyone knew, and the next, he was gone. The police claimed he had run away, but I knew Kyle better than that. He was terrified of something, constantly looking over his shoulder and avoiding dark places. The last thing he said to me was a cryptic warning.
If you ever see him, don't look away.
At the time, I thought he was talking about some bully or shady character in town. I didn't press him, thinking he'd explain later. But now, 3 months later, I was beginning to regret not asking. As rumors spread about Kyle's disappearance, whispers of a sinister figure emerged. Jeff, the killer. Some said he was a psychotic murderer who stalked his victims before slicing them apart. Others said he was an urban legend born from the darkest corners of the internet. I didn't believe in urban legends. Not until the night I came face to face with him. I was walking home from the basketball court one evening, the air thick with summer heat. The streets were empty, save for the distant hum of a flickering street lamp. My sneakers scuffed against the cracked pavement as I gripped my backpack tightly. That's when I felt it. The cold, suffocating sensation of being watched. I glanced over my shoulder, and there he was, Jeff, the killer. His pale face seemed to glow beneath the flickering light, a grin so wide it didn't seem human. His eyes were dark, hollow, and unblinking, locked onto mine. I froze, my breath caught in my throat. Kyle's warning echoed in my mind. Don't look away. The street light above him flickered and died, plunging us into darkness. When it sputtered back to life, Jeff was closer. So much closer, summoning every ounce of courage. I turned and walked away, trying to keep my steps steady. But I could feel his gaze burning into my back, a pressure that made my skin crawl. When I finally reached my house, I slammed the door shut, heart racing. I was safe, but I knew it wasn't over. Over the next few days, strange things started happening. My window was unlocked every morning, even though I was sure I'd locked it. My phone buzzed with texts from an unknown number. I'm watching. Go to sleep. You can't hide. I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? They'd think I was losing it, just like Kyle. One night, I found a note slipped under my door, written in jagged, trembling handwriting. Let's play a game. The rules were simple. Stay awake. Don't turn off the lights. Don't scream. It sounded like a twisted prank. But as midnight neared, a gnawing dread filled my stomach. I stayed in my room, lights blazing, clutching a baseball bat. My phone buzzed again. I am here. I stood still, the air heavy as if the walls were closing in. Slowly, I turned toward the window. There he was. His face pressed against the glass, that same unnatural grin stretching wider.
Go to sleep,
he whispered, his voice like ice. Suddenly, the door to my room slammed open, though I was sure I'd locked it. My heart thudded in my chest as I spun around. Empty, silent darkness. I ran out of my room and rushed downstairs, opening the front door quickly. I didn't know where I was going, just away. I could hear his footsteps behind me, steady and never stopping. I turned a corner and hid in an alley, crouching behind a dumpster. My chest hurt as I tried to stop my breathing from being too loud. Do you think you can hide from me? His voice was soft, almost playful. Loud crash echoed through the air. A metal almost hit my head. I quickly turned around, and there he was, his figure stepping out of the shadows, his grin stretching wide. I remembered an old warehouse at the edge of town, abandoned for years. If I could just get there, maybe I could find something to defend myself with, or at least a place to hide. I ran faster than I ever had before, the cold night air biting at my skin. The warehouse loomed ahead, its broken windows like gaping mouths in the dark. Inside, the shadow swallowed me whole. Every step I took echoed, as though the building itself was alive, waiting. Come out, wherever you are," Jeff's voice sang, bouncing off the rusted machinery. I found a metal pipe and gripped it tightly, sweat slicking my palms. I darted through the maze of shadows, eyes scanning the darkness for any sign of movement. Then he appeared. His grin was wider than ever, a gleam of steel in his hand. "You're fun," he said, tilting his head, his voice sickeningly calm. "Most people scream and run. But you're different." I didn't respond. My hands shook as I raised the pipe, ready to strike. Without warning, Jeff lunged. His face was inches from mine, his breath cold and rancid. His knife grazed my cheek, drawing blood. "You got spirit," he laughed, licking the blood from his arm. "Let's see how long it lasts." I swung the pipe, desperation fueling my movements. I grabbed a rusted chain hanging from the ceiling and yanked it down. A metal beam crashed to the floor, barely missing Jeff and creating a barrier between us. "You can't run forever," he called, his voice floating through the dark. "I'll be seeing you." Burst into the night air, gasping for breath. My body ached, my skin stung, but I was alive. At least for now. The police didn't believe me. They found no evidence of Jeff the killer, no sign of a struggle. My injuries were dismissed as an accident. But I knew the truth. Jeff was still close, watching, lurking, waiting for the right moment. Every night since, I've kept the lights on, a weapon always within reach. Sleep doesn't come easy anymore. How could it, when I know he's hiding just beyond the shadows? Kyle was right. If you ever see him, don't look away. If you enjoyed the terror, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. Do you believe Jeff the killer is real, or was this just a twisted coincidence? Share your thoughts in the comments below, if you dare.